you're around here, then hi, nice to meet you. And if you're returning, then thank you very fucking much for coming back. That is your word of warning that I do like a little bit of sweary words on this channel. I am Alana, I'm a 30-something Scottish lady, and the sweary words, they just kind of roll off the tongue. I promise I don't mean any badness by it, just part of the vocabulary. If you're not into that kind of thing, that's fine, you can scoot right along. But if you are into that kind of thing, there's a little button down here to subscribe. Don't worry, I'm not going to trap you in some sort of unwanted relationship that you don't want. Watch some other shit first, and if you don't like it, that's absolutely fine. So if you're wondering what the weird candle was at the start of the video, then just so you know, as you're watching this today, hopefully, if I pull my finger out and actually get things uploaded, this should be going up on my birthday. Hey! Celebrations all round, unless you're in lockdown like us in Scotland, again, where we can't go anywhere, we can't do anything, and we're stuck inside. I'm sure everybody, we're now almost getting to the year point of COVID. Probably everybody will have had a birthday in lockdown now. Anyway, so it is my birthday today as you watch this, hopefully, as I say, if I've got it up on time, and this video is going to be my kind of stunning height or should I pass. Yeah, one of those videos that basically people say, well, would I buy it, wouldn't I buy it, that kind of shit, but with quite a lot of sprinkling of sarcasm on the top, because that's my kind of cup of tea, that's my bag, I like it. So if that sounds like your kind of thing and you like a little bit of anti-haul along with I am possibly, definitely, probably going to buy this, then please keep on watching. Okay, so before we get started, here is your other word of warning. Oh, it's going to plan already. Word of warning to grab yourself a cup of tea, coffee, cocktail, whiskey, wine, drambuie. I don't know where I got that one from. Anything the fuck you like. Now you probably are wondering, Alana, birthday week and you're drinking coffee? Like you've not got a drink? Yeah, I know, you all realise how much of an absolute baby merchant that I am. But I wanted to show you these biscuits, and you all know how much I fucking love a biscuit. So my dear friend Erin, I've spoke about her before, sent me these biscuit, I would say biscuits, but they are called cookies. So sorry, I'll show you this one first of all because it has my age on it. 34, that's right. Where the time has gone, I have no idea. This is the one I'm going to be eating with my coffee, but I want to show you these ones because they're absolutely amazing. This one has my name on it, see, it says Alana. This one is particularly cute because it says my pancreas runs on AAA batteries, and she knows I wear an insulin pump, I am diabetic, so potentially, yeah, my pancreas does run on batteries, and I thought that was quite good. Another one that she sent me was Pebbles says your makeup's shite. Don't worry, we're good friends. That's the kind of friendship groups I hang about in, and I fucking love them. But the company is called Rude Cookies. I'm going to link them down below, their Instagram down below. That's where their business works from, so I will link them down below. I cannot say they would be international because I know there are some of you that watch me from across the pond, but most definitely think that they will post things for the UK. They do send things in postable box size. These were actually hand delivered to me, which was very, very kind because the lady who makes the cookies lives quite close. But these ones, these are the absolute pièce de résistance. Now I've already taken these two out of the packet because I just couldn't help myself, but so if you can see back there, that's my cat Pebbles, and that is my cat Pebbles, and this one here, that is my cat Molly. They like, how fucking amazing are these? They're so good. I'm so impressed, and they're just like iced biscuits, really, a little bit like what I would say an Empire biscuit, you know, when you get jam in the middle. That's what they are, and they're absolutely gorgeous. They're so nice. And see, when it arrived, actually arrived late last night, I was just like, oh my, like honestly I could have started greeting, I'm not even lying. But that is the biscuit I'm going to be chomping on with my coffee today, and that is why I do not have an adult libation. I hope you understand. Oh my god, they are so tasty. Alright, so as I said, this is going to be kind of like hot or not video, one of these things where we talk about new makeup releases. So I'm going to move over slightly so that you can see stuff right here. There, that's a little bit better, so you'll be able to see them now as I talk shite about them. So we're going to start off with one that I've seen a lot of people talking about and absolutely ripping into, I'm not going to lie. This is The Sims, and I'm sorry, but I have to say, who fucking, like, what boardroom were they sitting in when they thought this would be a good idea? I've been a lover of The Sims for a very long time, since the very first game came out, and I'm sorry, but Mac, what the fuck is this? Like, honest to God, how they can say this colour scheme is anything to do with The Sims, I do not understand. So the outer little unicorn thing, yeah, it says The Sims on it, and I think the whole theory behind this was that you can now put MAC makeup on your Sims in the game, fine, but even at that, I'm like, how fucking drab is this? Like, You can make your Sims any colour you like now. Anything, purple, whatever the fuck you like. You can make their hair any colour you want. And this is what you went with? Really? Honestly? I think I've seen a few other people speak about this as well and said that this is actually already a palette. So all they've done is put Sims on an outer carton and put like MAC on it, and that's it. Like, there's nothing to do with the Sims about this, and I think this is absolute fucking the height of laziness. This is ridiculous. So no, I will not be buying this, and I can't say I would even glance at it if it was in the shop. If it didn't have that Sims like logo on it, would you bother looking at it? Because I'm gonna be honest, no, I probably wouldn't. It's so boring. Just yawn, no, let's move it along. Alright, next up is one that actually I thought looked quite interesting. The Ordinary. Now, you know I love The Ordinary skincare. It's probably one of my favourite skincares at the moment. I've been using it now for the better part of 3 years, I want to say. Sorry, yeah, I was eating a biscuit there, get used to it. I remember when The Ordinary came out and it was like, ooh, pure actives. Ooh, my god, cheap actives. Doing what the big brands can't do. Now, I don't think they really kicked off at that point. I think the point when they became super duper mainstream and kicked off is when they released their foundations. So they done like a serum foundation and then a bit more of a full coverage foundation. I did buy them both at the time. I did not like either. I thought the serum one would be more up my street because I don't like a full coverage foundation and I like looking a little sweaty. But neither of them were very good. The colours were all a little off, even though they had a really big shade range. I just thought no. So I seen the release in this concealer, and I'm like, okay, interesting. I could be tempted, because I can't imagine they're going to be particularly expensive, but I could be tempted to try them just to see what the texture's like. I love trying concealers. I like seeing like different, I know what I like and I like what I know, and that is Glossy Stretch. But I figured that I like trying other things because, you know, it's just good to have variation. When you're buying the same thing over and over, it gets a little repetitive and boring, and we're all, you know, birds and we like to spread our wings and see others. Thoughts, feelings, sights, all that kind of shit. I think I would still be kind of intrigued by it, to be honest with you. So it says here they're going to be $5.80 each. How do you say that? Like, I would say £5.80. Do you say $5.80? Yeah, must be, right. That's going to be around about the $4.99 mark here in the UK, so it's not going to be ridiculous. And it isn't like I would never order from The Ordinary again. So if they're there, I can pop one in my basket, then I probably will. I don't think I'll rush on the 19th of January to do it. But yeah, coming soon it says. It also says Ulta, and I thought, does that mean it's just going to be an Ulta? I hope not. I hope it's on Dysam as well. But, you know, I would give them a bash. We'll see how we go. Next up is the Colourpop Love Struck 5-pan palette collection. Now, I'd seen that Colourpop had done a lot of releases in a very short space of time. Now, I did say that Colourpop are a brand that I would potentially really like to try in 2021 for the simple reason my nose has been itching for years. Not because I'm like, oh, I hear so many good things about them. I hear mixed reviews, and I hear like for the price they're really good. I hear that, you know, you get what you pay for, but actually for variation and all the things they do, they're good. And I just never have delved in because of the shipping taxes and customs charges and things like that. When I seen these, I'm going to be honest, it did instantly take me to the Natasha Denona mini palettes. I don't think these are mini. I think they're a larger size, but I think the container, like the packaging that they're in, is very similar. But on second inspection, I don't actually think there are any Natasha Denona palettes that are in these shade ranges. So although the packaging is the same, they're not absolute dupes. I think they're just trying to make it look a little bit more different and interesting, and by going down that Natasha Denona route, it might even look a little bit more luxurious. I do like the idea of a 5-pan palette. I do like little mini palettes like that. I loved little elf bite-sized ones last year, and the one Natasha Denona palette that I've got that is the mini one is very good. Obviously this is not the same and I cannot compare it to that, but these did pique my interest. In hindsight though, I'm looking at them thinking, is there any there that I would desperately want that colour story? Probably not. If I could get my hands on them here in the UK, like in Boots or Superdrug, then yes, I would probably go in and pick one up just to try them, to see what they're like. But as I am not, then I probably will not bother with these. But it did kind of pique my interest, I'm not going to lie. Okay, next up is another palette from a company that I said I wanted to try in 2021. It's Milk Cosmetics. This is the Blueprint palette, and I have to say, I do actually think this looks really nice, Blues are not colours that I like zone in on very often. I think I shy away from them because I think they don't really suit my skin tone, my colouring, my hair and all that kind of thing. But I do like blue. I don't like totally not want to wear blue, especially in the summer. Sometimes I'll do like a poolside blue, like, you know, that mermaidy kind of aqua colour. I really like that. But there's something about this palette that I'm just like, that is interesting. I really like it. Now I know this is from the stack, so they had the melt stack that had 2 shades in the 1 pan, so that would basically make it a stack of 4, is that right? 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, so it was a stack of 4 with 2 colours in each pan. So if you already have that, I'll be interested to see what people are saying, if the quality is the same as the stack. I personally prefer this kind of packaging over a stack one, especially for the kind of storage situation that I have, so I think that is much nicer. I am not going to rush to buy it, but it certainly piqued my interest. I think it's really nice, but I have to have a word with myself and be like, will you actually use that, and will you use it very frequently? And I think the answer is probably not, even though I think it looks very, very interesting. If I ever see this on any kind of sale or anything, I think I'll probably be tempted to pick it up, but obviously we're far too early for anything like that because it's only just released. I also think the 2 little, is it dip things? What are they? Gel liners, yeah. They look super interesting. I would be like, I would quite like to do like just a subtle lid, or even like a really like an orange lid and then just a blue liner, like something really striking like that. I like that kind of thing, so I think those look very interesting too. Hopefully these do come to Beauty Bay because I think both look pretty cool. I've almost eaten my birthday wishes away. Okay, next up is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Super fancy. I'd say super fancy, but now I think, I don't know if they are super fancy. Are they? I don't know if they're classed as that anymore. Like back in the day, I remember it was like, oh, Anastasia. Anyway, fucking get to the point, Alana. So this is their iced out collection. Now, there's a couple of things I want to tackle in this one. First of all, when I seen it, I was like, what is this? Like 3 clear products and 1 highlighter. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. Basically, I think there is a brow gel, which is obviously clear, grand, excellent. There is a clear gloss and a diamond gloss, and then there is the highlighter. I don't get it. I've never tried the Amrezy one, that is like the kind of really golden highlight. And to be honest with you, there's a few things that bother me about this launch. The first one being, I thought, for this launch being like iced out, okay, it's still winter. It's still definitely fucking winter here in Scotland. It was snowing the other day. It was treacherous driving on the roads. It was shit. So, I know, iced out. We can still say it's winter. But surely this should have been released pre-Christmas to be like frosty and snow-like, and I don't know. I just feel like this is a really strange release for January. I don't know. So this to me though seems so pointless. So there's pretty much 2 clear glosses, let's face it. There's one that's like a crystally one that's maybe got some sort of frost to it, and then there's just a clear one. Okay, there's then an eyebrow gel that's clear. Okay, again, fine, but don't we have a million of these things? Do we need any more? Probably not. And then the frosty highlight. We've got the same kind of issue that I chatted about with Anastasia Cosmetics the last time. So it says that it's basically a universal shade with buildable intensity and can be used on the face, body, eyes, wet or dry. But I'm like, how can this be universal? Now I'm a peely white, wally, pasty, ghost. You could spit through me practically. I've said this before. I'm a nice shade of like ghost but also pink at the same time. It's a fantastic Scottish phenomenon. But this for me, I can imagine, is still going to be super icy. Like when you face on, it's going to do that silver stripe Tin Man / tiger effect. For me, that's a no. And I can't imagine anybody with like a darker skin tone with me, how that's going to be flattering on them. So why call it universal? That's my honest question, and it is purely an ignorant question. If anybody could answer that question for me, then please fucking let me know, because I said it before with Natasha Denona, like, are people who are darker than me, people of colour, annoyed about these kind of things, or is it genuinely a universal thing where actually on the darkest shades as well it will look just as good? It depends on the look you're going for rather than the actual colour of the product. So if you like a really blinding, bam, frosty highlight and you're dark and you've got beautiful ebony black skin, then maybe actually that's what you want. Maybe you actually think that's going to like fucking blinding and amazing and that's what I want? Or do you think, no bitch, like this is just fucking frost on the side of my face? Because that's how I would feel. And I'm peely wally, look at me. Honestly, like, could I get any paler? I don't know. Probably could, actually, if I'm honest with you. I've got a lot of rouge on today. Rouge? What age am I? Fucking 90? So anyway, I don't think this collection's very nice. I think it's an absolute waste of money. I'm getting really strong about feelings here now, but I think this is a total waste of time. I wouldn't want to pick up anything from it, and I wouldn't thank you for it if somebody gave it to me, but that's just my honest opinion. Alright, next up. Oh, this one, I just think, are you fucking mental? That's the honest truth. So, this is the Yves Saint Laurent. It's basically a lipstick mixer. Now, first impressions of this, when I seen the photo, I was like, what the fuck? Like, why is this on Trendmood? Is this one of my diabetes profiles that I follow? This to me looks like a fancy diabetic blood glucose testing monitor, just because it happens to have red lipstick in it. And on the top, there's like the 3 little red dots, and I thought, oh, maybe it's someone that like pricks your finger and takes the blood at the same time, and then it'll like, I don't know. And then I seen it said Yves Saint Laurent, and I thought, wait a minute, what the fuck is this? So you put little lipstick cartridges in it, and I think you can put up to 3 in it, and basically it will mix any shade of lipstick you like. But it won't, because it'll depend on the 3 fucking lipsticks you've got in the cartridge. It just, to me, seems like the most fucking ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. Now, I read the comments on this post. This one was from Trendmood, and there was a lot of people being like, I don't know if they were men who stumbled onto the page or men who do particularly do like makeup or anything like that, but quite a few males being like, well, just wants to show you that you're not engineers, like you don't understand or appreciate the engineering behind this. And I'm like, okay, fine, it's obviously very good engineering, but honestly, did it need to be engineered? Could we not engineer something a little bit more like the world might need right now? What the fuck is this? You can basically just have 2 tubes of lipstick, whether it's liquid lipstick, bullet lipstick, gloss if you want, even a lip pencil and a lipstick, whatever the fuck you like. Mix them on your lips, use a brush to put another colour on there, and you know, this is not required, ever, ever. It also comes with like this app that like, then if you take a picture of the outfit you're wearing, it will create the lipstick to go with the outfit you're like. Why not just look in the fucking mirror? Just look in the mirror and be like, do you know what? I don't necessarily look at my outfit and think, what lipstick am I wearing? I would look at the rest of what I've got on my face. So for me, that doesn't really make any sense. And the fact that it costs like a ridiculous, how much is it in dollars, right? $2.99. So that is probably, let me check. No, absolutely wrong. It goes the other way. So it's £220, not 320. I was totally going the other direction. So it's £220, and then each little lipstick cartridge set thing that you get is $100. So again, that's going to be like what, 80, 60 pounds, something like that. So you're looking at £300 to £400 just to get this machine that mixes your lipstick. When, let's face it, if you like a YSL lipstick, you could just buy 2 YSL lipsticks and mix them together if you really wanted. Like, is it not just, I'm not fucking brains of Britain here, but is that not just a little more sense? Like, I have no idea why this was invented. I think it is the absolute most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And it looks like an advert for a diabetic glucose monitor. Let's face it, who's going to buy this? Like, that's what I would like to know. I cannot imagine your regular Joe Blogs in the street is going to be buying this. I can't imagine even people who like bougie makeup are going to be buying this. Like, this is the most, it's just a waste of time. It's a waste of time for the person who invented it. Like, you could have done something so much more productive with your time, but it's shite. Like, it is absolute shite. We don't need it. We don't want it. Catch you. Sorry, my eye is doing that funny thing. Do you ever get that, totally bamboozled me for a second there. Do you ever get that thing where it's like a nerve thing and your eye just twitches? And it's going like that, and you probably can't even notice it in the camera, but I'm very aware. I'm just like like something's going on in my eye, and I'm like, oh, please stop that, that's horrible. Anyway, now we're going to move on to Samantha Ravendale's new company, new launch, new brand. Now, I feel like this has to coincide with a chat about Hourglass, because I have spoke about Hourglass before in this channel, and I do really like their ambient lighting and dim light. That would be one that I would always like go back to. But since I used up my small pan of it last year, I want to say. Even in my Black Friday video, I did mention, you know, oh, well, if this is on offer, it'd be quite nice to get in my Santa stocking, to be honest with you. In hindsight, I'm quite glad I never picked anything up, because I have been, from the peripheries, watching the situation with Hourglass. I know Samantha Ravendale herself has spoke about it quite a lot, and other people have as well. A lot of people of colour, a lot of people have said like, Hourglass, what the fuck are you doing? Like, every year you release something for their Christmas collection, and actually there's fuck all for us in it. So the more I kind of became aware of it, and that was just pure ignorance at its best, I kind of was like, do you know what, maybe it's not someone I want to buy from. Now, I'm kind of the opinion that show your feelings with your money. Like, don't support a brand that you don't necessarily like, but also a feeling of, I think the ambient lighting powder and dim light is a very, very good product, annoyingly so. So I wish they would just roll it out in lots of different colours, because it should be made available to everybody to enjoy it the way I do. And that's really, really just, like, that's surely common sense. But Hourglass then decided to release this picture, which I'm sure you will all have seen. Charlotte Holdcroft done a video all about this release, and I'm going to link her video up here because she speaks about it so much more eloquently than I ever could, and kind of tackled the topic so well, and I just thought makes so much more sense to go and watch her video, so please do that. What were you thinking, Hourglass? Like, it's bad enough that you've kind of just sat on it and not said anything and not really broached any of the subjects or any of the issues that people have had recently, but then to actually go ahead and be like, oh look, we've got one for people with dark skin, when actually they're all things in your collection already. You're basically trying to fleece people. That's what you would say here. Like, you're just trying to pull the wool over their eyes. You're talking shite. With that launch in mind, obviously Samantha Ravendale's launches came out, and she had been very, very vocal about Hourglass and about the situation with them. I think she was very vocal about them over a year ago, so I'm not going to say this is the first time she has been. But in more recent months, she became very vocal again. I'm not somebody that watches Samantha Ravendale. I've watched videos, like I've seen videos of her. I think she's a really lovely lady, but I'm not a subscriber. I don't watch her regularly. And in hindsight, I'm like, was that a little bit of business tactic? I'm not saying that her brand is shit. I'm not saying that for a second. I've not even tried it. I can't say that. But I did wonder a little bit, and I'm allowed to fucking give my opinion on here. I think there was a little bit of tactic on there, because now she's came out with this brand. The ethos and the inclusivity of it is so lovely. There's obviously a lot of thought being put into it as well, but these things take time. They take over a year, like, to come up with all the ideas, the packaging, the colours, the formulas. All this kind of stuff takes a long time. So in hindsight, I was like, do you think she kept digging at Hourglass because she was like, I'm going to show you, I'm going to bring out something 10 times fucking better, mate? I just wonder. But talking about Samantha's brand in particular, I'm going to be honest with you, again, because of customs and shipping charges, it's probably not going to be a brand that I'm going to reach out for. And because I'm not like a subscriber, and I don't have that affinity feeling with her as a YouTuber, I don't feel the need that I want to pay the shipping and things like that to get it. If it came to the UK, maybe like Cult Beauty or Beauty Bay, then yes, I maybe would be interested in trying it out. Not the foundation, it's not a foundation, it's one of these kind of glow boostery things. That is right up my street. You know, I speak about stuff like that all the time. I use things like that all the time in my daily life. It's probably what I would pick every single time over a foundation. And if I am going to use a foundation, then I'll probably mix it in with something like that. So that is absolutely up my street. The little cream and powder pots, so again, something that is right up my street for a wash of colour over the lid, just one and done type. I know Tom Ford has done stuff like this years and years ago. They came out with that kind of thing. And I want to say there's somebody else, is it RMS Beauty? There's somebody else who's in Space NK that do something like that, but at this point in time I can't, the name escapes me. What they also remind me of is the Victoria Beckham little lustre pots. Very, very similar, although they don't have the cream part of it. But I do think they are also things that are kind of up my street. But I have to say, I find them very, very highly priced for what they are. Again, obviously Tom Ford and things like that, they are equally as highly priced, but I think that as a new brand, this is quite expensive. I feel like that's got an element of Miss Jamie Genevieve about it. Like, I spoke about her launch a wee while ago, back in October, November, and basically I said it looks like she's going for that really luxe feel. She wants this to feel like a high-end brand, and I think Samantha probably is going for the same. She definitely said in her video that's what she was going for, and for that reason she's probably put the higher price tag on it. And obviously we have to take things into account, like the packaging, how much it actually costs to make, and fair pay to whoever is making it and things like that. So it is a higher price tag. But for me personally, when it is not a designer brand, and to be honest with you, I'm like, why do designer brands have to, like, you're paying for the name, aren't you? So I'm very stuck in the middle. Do you know, I actually spoke to Cara about this the other day, and I was like, I always get very nuanced. I'm like, well, I can see it from this side, but I can also see it from this. Like, I fight with myself about things like this. So to be honest with you, I find this is probably a little overpriced. I think that the skincare item, the kind of glow stuff, is probably quite fairly priced for the size of it and the amount of use you will get out of it. But the eye pot, I just feel should have been a little cheaper. Just a little cheaper. It's just a little overpriced for me. And as I say, I am not like a die-hard stan or fan of Samantha, so I probably won't be rushing to pick anything up. But if it did come to Beauty Bay, the skincare thing I would probably look into, and I think it looks very interesting. And lastly, we are going to talk about one more influencer launch collab type thing. Now, I did speak about my kind of who I was watching on YouTube this year, who I was watching last year, and will continue to watch. If you haven't seen that video, I'm going to pop it up here. But this is a collaboration from Kaleidos, and I've spoken about Kaleidos before as well. I will also put that video up here, and Angelica Nyqvist. And I have to say, I am so excited about this. So personally, as I said to you at the start of this video, I like warm tones, I like smoky oranges, browns, all that kind of shit. Reds, greens. I don't usually go for blues. And when I seen Angelica's palette, initially the outside I was like, oh, it's going to be really blue. But on closer inspection, this palette is not really blue. It's got a lot of reds, a lot of pinky tones in it. It's got the greens, the lime greens in it. And I think this is one of the most interesting palettes that I have seen for a long time. And I know that I like the Kaleidos formula of eyeshadow. I was already thinking about picking up another palette from Kaleidos, possibly the Sashimi City one, because it was probably the more neutral one. But I thought, when I seen her say, this is going to be launched on the 19th, my birthday's the 20th, I am going to be getting up early on the 19th, because I think in my time it's going to be released at 8 o'clock in the morning. So in my time, I'm going to be up early, card in hand, whatever, PayPal, who gives a fuck, and I am going to be clicking, adding to basket, and buying the shit out of that. Partly because I really want to support Angelica, but also because I think this is so interesting. It's the most interesting palette I've seen in a long time. I absolutely love it. I love the theme of it. I love the names of it, because she named them all after kind of sci-fi stuff. And personally, as a little bit of a geeky slash gamer slash Star Wars and Star Trek and Deep Space Nine and Babylon 5, like all that kind of shit, because I love all of that. What was the other one I was going to say? Not Star Trek, Stargate. What was the one with the gate? Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, Stargate, the film, 1994. I was like fucking losing my mind there. All of these kind of things, I sat and watched them with my dad, and that's how I became a bit of a sci-fi fan. And I love that she's included some like gaming things in there as well. See, when she said 7 of 9, I was like, oh my god, like I nearly screamed in my seat, and I was like typing a comment super duper fast on the video, because again, I watched these things with my dad. Not that I noticed when I was a child, but you know, looking back now, you're like, he's probably like, yeah, she's nice. But she was also part of the Borg, and the Borg were probably my dad's favourite Star Trek people. They were super duper evil, but they were super duper interesting, and they had all these tubes and things coming out. Not that 7 and 9 had that, she was like a mixture, but they had all these tubes and things coming out, and my dad was always like, right, one Halloween we're gonna make you into the Borg. And I was like, yeah, that'll be great. And now, even now, when I talk to people, maybe it's a child or something, and they maybe see me around the swimming pool or something like that with my insulin pump attached, and they'll be like, what's that? And their mum will be like, don't ask questions. And I'll be like, it's all right, it's just because I'm a robot, I'm the Borg. And like, just pure shite, but I love it. I just love that she's named them after these things, because personally, it made me feel seen. I know that sounds so fucking cheesy, let's not lie, but it made me feel seen as someone who doesn't slot into that perfect like makeup, hair, nails, extension type slot. but also doesn't slot into like being a super duper geek and knowing absolutely everything about everything. I'm very much a mixture of the two, throw in a little bit of goth there as well, and I'm sure I've got loads of friends like that who are like, well, do you know what, I kind of fucking like everything. And it just made me feel seen, because I look at Angelica and I feel like that. Like, I look at her and I think she's gorgeous, she knows how to do her makeup amazing, but it's interesting, it's not just your bog standard shit. She's probably around about the same age as me as well, but she also loves all this geeky shit that I absolutely adore. So that will most definitely be going in my basket before like on the 19th basically, because if I don't buy it then I'm absolutely certain it will sell out. Okay, so that is everything, and that is my roundup for my kind of stunning shite or should I pass. As I mentioned, I am probably going to go on a little bit of a no buy in February because it's my birthday month and I'm just like, take the money and run. Anyway, we'll keep that for my kind of January roundup and we'll talk about it then. Otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed this. Hope you all had a wee bit of a laugh with me, had a little cuppa, had a little time to shoot the shit, and I'll see you all again in the next one. Bye.